And welcome back. I'm Beth Haynes. It's day 7 of the partial government shutdown, and while thousands of employees are on furlough and all national parks are closed, government websites are also shut down. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park website has been down since the shutdown started last week. And here's the message on the whitehouse.gov warning people the site is not up to date and they can't respond to any inquiries. A similar message appeared over the weekend on the National Amber Alert website, amberalert.gov. We reached out to the TBI, who said the site is an information site only, and its closure had no impact on the program in Tennessee. The Department of Justice restored the website at 11 this morning, bringing in a furloughed employee to reopen it. A spokesman said the Amber Alert system was never interrupted. Well, joining me now with more on what it takes to monitor a website, Dan Thompson with Claris Network, and so glad that you've come in to discuss this. And you say the decision to shut down these websites is really silly.
It's absolutely silly.
Why.
Yeah, so just a quick background on how the internet sort of works. So there are these computers that sit out there that are connected to the internet. They're not too unsimilar from the PC you have at your house. And basically these systems have software on them that serve up web pages. So when you punch in www.wbir.com, you're basically accessing these files that are located on a server somewhere. So in just the same way that when the IT staff here at WBIR goes home in the evenings and the website stays up, exactly the same way the government websites work when the employees go home because they're furloughed, the websites could have in fact stayed up, but instead they've chosen to present these web pages that say, in effect, we don't have a web page, but they still have a web page.
It costs no more money
to
leave it up and running than to create a page that says we have no page.
That is absolutely right. And actually, technically, it costs maybe a little bit more money because they had to pay somebody to make the page that says we don't have a page. So, I mean, to be fair, that was probably very, very little time to create that page. But still, at the end of the day, you know, the cost, the payment has already been made for the service. It's just a matter of what page it displays, and you know, so there's no technical reason. So obviously now we've moved into political reasons as to why they do this.
Well, let's talk about security. The government leaving, if they were to leave these sites up and running, are they more at risk than any other time that the site is up and running?
Well, I would argue no. They're no more at risk than if you know, then they've just left them alone. I mean, you could say there's no IT staff there to respond to alerts, but I mean, really, when was the last time the National Park Service's website was attacked? I can't think of a recent time, but I mean, they're no more vulnerable now than they were then. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, it would be a silly excuse to say, oh, well, it's for security reasons, because, I mean, that's just not the case.
We mentioned that the Amber Alert is back up and running.
Yes.
Do we expect more of these national sites to go offline? And what do you see in the, as we continue through this shutdown?
Well, you know, that's a great question. The Amber Alert was actually the one website that the government shut down that got tons and tons of attention, right? People were complaining, saying, hey, you know, I mean, this is like a serious website, right? I mean, this is how we find out about kids who've been kidnapped or whatever. So the government apparently yielded and said, hey, we'll put that back up. Since it would seem that the certain parties of the government are using the national parks and other services as sort of pawns in this game that they're playing, I would be hesitant to say that they'll put the websites back up. But we'll see. I mean, you know, like they mentioned in the story, they had to bring in a furloughed employee to basically swap which page is being displayed on the website. So it would definitely take some effort on their part.
So some of these national sites will stay offline until the government reconvenes.
I would imagine so.
Hey, it's always good to talk. I'm always glad to talk with you, to see you. So thanks so much for your perspective on this.
Thank you.
And your explanation. And we will talk to you again soon, I'm very sure. Well, how fast our rivers flow? Still ahead, TVA help.